Ben, we have the great Sofia Franklyn here, who I think you should give the intro.
Sofia with an F. By the way, were you saying me give the intro or Sofia give the intro?
No, Ben, you.
Take it away, Ben.
Sofia with an F, a dear, dear friend of the family, even though me and Sofia have maybe met in person like twice.
Right.
But still a dear, dear friend, a supporter of all things us. We're a supporter of all things her. And honestly, just a dream to have her on the podcast. I'm not exactly sure why you decided, Sofia, to come on the podcast when you're in Los Angeles, considering you live in New York and we could have done this together. But, Josh ends up just like getting all these great guests in person. So it is what it is. Just shafted again. But Sofia with an F, thank you so much for joining us. Why did your parents decide to use an F and not a PH?
Well, you know what's even more messed up? Well, by the way, thank you for having me. I was about to jump into why my parents have... Can I say the F word?
Please.
Okay, great. Why my parents have just completely f***ed me up. My last name is Franklyn, spelled with a Y.
Right.
So it's Sofia with an F, Franklyn with a Y.
Right.
I have no idea why. I don't know. But every single time I tell someone my name, I have to, let them know.
Yeah, it's like Stephen with a PH or Mark with a C.
Right.
A lot to think about.
And then adding, the weird letter in the last name. It's like, I don't. And then if I told you my middle name, I would never record anything ever again. And I would quit.
What's your middle name? I'll
Adolf.
tell you mine.
It's
Mine.
Hitler. That's funny.
You know what? My mom is Jewish, so she did stay away from that one.
You're a Jewish queen?
Yes.
Ooh.
I don't practice. Wow. I would like to, but yes, I'm ethnically Jewish.
I thought you were going to say I'm not.
Judaism.
I thought you were going to say I'm not. I thought you were going to say I'm not proud, but I'm Jewish, and I was like, that is f***ed up.
Can you imagine?
That's incredible, especially during Jewish Heritage Month, which was what, May?
I don't know. Was that? I didn't know that was a
Jewish
thing. I
Heritage.
didn't know it was a thing.
But it's Pride, so we can't encroach on Pride.
No, we can't.
No.
Even though the Israeli Day Parade was on Sunday, so they did encroach on Pride. That said, do you know that Tel Aviv is the epicenter of all gay culture? Like the biggest, most unbelievable Pride parade takes place in Tel Aviv. Fun fact.
I had no clue.
Mm-hmm.
Tel Aviv of all places.
Fun fact.
So my middle name.
Yeah,
I should have just let you guys continue talking. I don't know why I brought it up again.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's a very Argentine name.
You're an Argentinian Jew?
Yes.
That's dope, because funny enough, that's where the Nazis fled.
Really? Okay, I've heard that.
We can't get away from each other. No.
That is, well, I was about to say that's fucking hilarious, and I was like, it's not funny at all. That's actually horrific.
No, we're allowed to laugh.
50,
We're allowed to laugh.
50-50, it's funny.
My middle name is Vanina.
Cool.
Sofia Vanina. And then my last name was actually Franco. And then when my mom met my dad, who's like my stepdad, he adopted me with Franklyn. So she just decided to hyphenate it. So it was Sofia Vanina Franco Franklyn.
Fascinating.
That's a crazy name.
Sofia Vanina Franco.
It's a little crazy, but it's certainly not it's not an embarrassing middle name. I think it's a lovely middle name. Josh, what's your middle name?
Michael.
Classic.
we're like, okay.
Classic.
It's Vanino. No. No, it's Michael. So I have such a Jewish name. Yeshua Michael. That's
Beautiful.
Judaism. What about you, babe?
Yeah, see, like, Sofia, when you said that your middle name was embarrassing, I was fine asking you because I thought we were both in, like, the embarrassing middle name club, but yours wasn't really embarrassing, and now I'm just, like, left alone sharing mine, which is Morgan.
Morgan.
That
You sound like an investment firm. Here at Benjamin Morgan.
Named after the great Morgan Freeman. No, I'm kidding. But somebody with an M. I think it was like an Uncle Milton or something. But yes, I am Morgan. And the only Morgans that are known are Morgan Freeman and then women. So it is
I've never met a man with that name. I have met women with that name though. It's not a bad name. I'm just clarifying.
Yeah.
Benjamin Morgan. That sounds like a real estate firm. That sounds like a Ponzi scheme. That sounds, that's like Morgan Stanley. It's pretty good. Speaking of Morgan
JP
Stanley,
Morgan.
you used to work for them, right? No, I'm kidding.
No, That would have been the best segue.
I'm good at them.
That was incredible. I did work for Morgan Stanley for 4 years.
Wow.
Worst job.
Soul crushing.
So, I was so depressed. Josh, you have no idea. I hated it. Hated.
How many men in Patagonia vests did you see a day?
Oof, that is a really good question. I would say at least on my floor, there were at least 5.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And who's douchier, finance bros or Hollywood dirtbags?
Hollywood dirtbags.
Ooh, say more.
Well, 100%. Because Hollywood, I mean, if you're a finance bro, you're douchey, right? Your name is Chad or Brad. But you went to school, right? And you studied finance and you put some effort into what you're doing. Not that I'm saying, I'm like, you know what? Actors are just, they don't do shit. Josh is like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, acting is a joke. Acting isn't a job.
What can you do?
But Hollywood dirtbags, something about someone thinking, I'm going to move to LA because I think I am that fucking cool and fabulous and good looking and talented. Narcissism written all over it.
Yes.
I'm not saying you are a narcissist. this is, general, just speaking generally.
It's an insane prospect, and we're in the height of a strike currently.
Mm-hmm.
The writers have struck, the actors are about to possibly strike.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that 100% the strikes, I'm pro-union, pro-strike. We should all have better deals.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, the amount of social media that is being created on the picket line, I'm talking selfies, I'm talking merch drops.
You need to be the first one with the merch drop.
Yes.
Oh,
What
yes.
are you going to put on the shirt?
We were thinking of dropping merch, and now we should 100% time it with this strike.
Mm-hmm.
Josh, maybe we say that we give 10% back to the writers, but then give none of it, just to bolster sales.
I'm anti-charity. I'll say it here.
just to bolster sales. Do either of you watch the other two?
No.
No.
All right, so then there's nothing to say.
Don't give up, Ben. See it through, babe.
Give us a little explanation.
It's a great show. I can't tell you who any of the actors are in it, but it's a fantastic show, and it's about the parody in Hollywood. And just you talking about actors and actresses going to the picket lines and taking selfies. It reminded me of that show, but if neither of you watch, then it's a moot point. It is what it is. Marshall, got it.
I'm like, yeah, we shouldn't have had him explain it actually after he did.
Not that you should name names, but when you did become a public person, who was the first Hollywood dirtbag who slipped into your DMs?
Oof. Do you say not to name names?
No pressure.
Oof. I mean, the first one?
Give us hints.
I can't remember the first one.
Really? I feel like
I can't remember the very first one.
You never forget your first.
You do. You forget them very quickly.
Okay.
But I can tell you, I'm trying to think of one. I can't. I'm gonna.
You have to.
I have to.
You have to. Especially,
safe?
yeah. By the way, we're also media press darlings, so whatever you say will go everywhere.
Okay. I will say this. Do we want to talk big celebrity?
Sure.
There's a lot of athletes, I will say. I want to actually, I think there's a very famous athlete.
Ooh, this is a great segment, guys. Clip it.
This is
Marshall, get your hands on the editing keys.
the fact that I'm giving this one up. The issue is I don't watch sports.
Sure.
So, I know that they have slid in, right? They have the blue check mark. I know they play something, but I don't know them by name.
Yeah. What's the hierarchy? Would a football star be number 1 and maybe a hockey player's number 4? What are you looking for?
40 with hockey.
I don't like athletes at all.
How come?
Because similar to celebrities, once again, Josh and Ben, you're a celebrity.
I'm on the border.
I am not on the border. I am a true celebrity.
It says it in your Instagram bio.
I don't want people to mistake it.
If you have to put in your bio, that's that's an issue. But celebrities and athletes, they're gonna cheat.
Wow.
They think they're better than everyone, and that's why they cheat. And I feel like they won't, really put in that much effort into the relationship, right? Because they're making all the money and they have the fame and whatever. So I would like to be with someone who is really not that cool, kind of, right? So then they have to really work overtime.
Yeah, people are cheaters. It's what I've noticed. There's like what if we had to just throw out percentages, and none of us are authorities here. How many people, like, what's the percentage of people who cheat? What do we think in relationships? 50?
At least
No.
50%.
Really? I was going to think so much less.
No way. What were you going to guess?
I don't know. Like, I have like 2 friends ever that cheated, and they're like terrible people. I don't know. Maybe I just grew up in a non-cheating community. But I think
know.
I was going to say you're right. I was going to say like 20%.
No, it's way more than that.
But do you think, are these people cheating in just relationships, or people cheating while married? Not that it should matter, but it kind of does.
But it should matter. And sorry, I was thinking marriage cheating at 20%. General cheating is a little bit different because sometimes one person thinks that they're more serious than the other person. Again, I don't condone cheating whatsoever, but post-marriage cheating is a whole different ballgame. And that's where I'm putting my 20%.
I agree with that. I think, okay, if it's actual married people, the percentage that cheat, I'm going to say 60%.
Wow.
I think so. Because when you're married, you're with someone for, hopefully forever.
Sure.
And I just think like 10, 20 years into a marriage, I feel like that's a lot. Like that's when people start to cheat, right?
Well, I've heard some weird statistics, and this is more for divorce, but I bet it would correlate with cheating, which is people are most likely to cheat between years 1 and 3, and then like 7 and 10. And so if you make it past those 2 hot zones, there's a good chance you'll stay together. I would imagine that it's years 1 through 3, you've not been in it that long. Mm-hmm. So the idea of like, I can get it. Like if I'm going to do it, I'll pull the ripcord now.
Wow, I did not know that.
And then I think between 4 and 7, people have kids, so they can't do it then. But then kids can make a relationship challenging. You have to grow and build on it. And then between 7 and 10, people are like, oh, if it's going to be this hard forever, I'm out. Crazy, right?
That is like, but if you make it past the 7 to 10 year mark, you're good to go. You
have a better chance, maybe. Those are the most likely.
Okay. So I wonder if between years 7 and 10, if you're most likely to cheat. Or are you so fucking busy with kids? I don't know.
I had a cheating scandal rock my friendship circle years ago. Mm-hmm. And I just remember when my buddy told me that he did, and he's like, obviously this is between us. And I was like, bro, obviously. I told my wife so fucking fast. I was like, Paige, put the stove on, the tea is coming out. Because I was like, God forbid she finds out. I can't imagine like how she would feel. Like you kept this from me?
Yeah.
Because she's down to clown. She would never say anything. But I was like, I got to tell her.
Of course.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy when you're in a relationship? All like secrecy with your friends, with anyone, just goes out the window.
Yeah.
It's like, of course.
What's crazy is that people think that they can tell me to keep a secret from my own wife.
Right.
Like that is like, do you understand who my wife is? I can't keep a secret from her. She smells it all over me. No way, Jose. So just know, either of you, if you ever come to confide in me, know that you're confiding in 2 of us, and then that really means that you're confiding in all of the Ashray sisters, because Claudia cannot keep that secret between me and her. So just so you know.
So by just telling you, well, and then all the sisters are telling their husbands. So really, like,
Correct.
You're telling 14 people at that point.
And then it's over.
You can't trust me with a secret.
Wow.
That's just the bottom line. You could trust me, but you can't.
You're basically, if you tell Ben something, you're telling all of the Upper East Side.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
Today's episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by Hero Bread. I fed my son toast this morning made with Hero Bread, and I'll tell you what he didn't say. Dad, what's this bread? What's different about this bread? Is this bread No, he didn't say any of that. You know what he said? So good. Delicious. You want to know the best part of Hero bread is that it tastes like delicious bread. The taste, the texture, it's scrumptious. It's just yummy. It has everything that you come to expect from bread, but it also has high fiber, ultra low net carbs, and 0 grams of sugar per slice. Hero basically cracked the code on bread, right? Because we all love bread. I'm going to venture to say we all love bread. And yet the drawback was maybe it was lacking in some of that, nutritional value. But here we go. Here we go, baby. Hero coming in and saving the day. And by the way, they make buns, they make tortillas, but it's got fewer calories than the leading national brand, 5 grams of protein per slice. So listen, I know that you're dying to try it. And trust me when I tell you, you will not be let down. Whether you've got a barbecue coming up, you need some delicious buns. I like to do a little BLT at lunch using Hero. I might sub in Hero for my French toast Sunday brunch this Sunday, maybe. You never know. Anyway, visit hero.co and use code GOODGUYS at checkout for 10% off your first purchase. That's HERO.co. Use code GOODGUYS for 10% off your first order. I'm going to be honest. My wife looks at me like an ATM. I hope she doesn't listen to this pod. I'm kidding, but not completely, right? Like my wife, my family, they depend on me. I'm the breadwinner. And then they're there for me in every other way, emotionally and figuratively and literally. And I literally would be lost without them. But I'm so glad that my part in Team Peck can be that I bring in a nice income to help support the house. And these people depend on me. So God forbid something happened to good old Josh Peck. The last thing I would want to do is leave my family hanging, and 75% of consumers greatly overestimate the cost of life insurance. But what people actually think costs like $50 a month or more can actually cost $20 a month, aka less than your car insurance or your pet insurance or that dinner at that hot place that you got all dressed up for and you're uncomfortable because your pants are too tight and you're waiting in line and the portions are too small. I could go on, but the reality is it's way cheaper than that. Look, you're still relatively young. I get it, but the reality is it's always good to have your finances in order. And getting life insurance can be much cheaper to lock in when you're young and healthy. So do it. And then you don't have to sweat it. And you know that the people you love most who depend on you are going to be well taken care of. Look, Quility has created a special life insurance guide just for Good Guys listeners. So visit Quility.com/goodguys to learn more and match with your perfect policy. That's QUILITY.com/goodguys for more information. Be a good guy or gal and get life insurance for you and yours. This might be too personal, but have you ever been cheated on?
So I have been cheated on, but I never knew for sure, but like I know, you know what I'm saying?
Because you always know.
Right. And
Yeah.
I never found evidence, but I just know. I have also cheated.
Wow, what's that like?
And I have to just confess that right now. The relationship was very toxic. It didn't feel good, but it happened. But I've never been married. If I'm married, that would never happen. Also, in any... What?
Can I ask why cheat instead of break up? I've always just been fascinated by this phenomenon. Like, why not just leave the person and then be with another person? Just curious.
Because I didn't want to break up with them.
You want
It's
that
like
cake,
as simple
baby?
as that.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But
Fair.
I felt bad.
I'll give it to you in a way you can best understand, Ben. You want your Entenmann's and you want to eat it too.
Yes, you do.
Well, are you
Yes,
guys
you
judging
do.
me now?
No,
Not at all.
Has this taken
Not
a
at
whole
all.
turn?
No way.
No, we're not. We're not judging you. We're just like, I'm just not as cool as you. Like, you have to be like a little bit cool to cheat. It's kind of like cigarettes, Josh. Like, there's like something about it that like it's kind of cool.
It
It's
is.
kind of cool. I'm not cool enough to do it. I couldn't get away with it. I have zero interest, never had any interest. Have also, thank God, never been cheated on because I could not take that. Josh, have you been... I don't think you've cheated, but have you been cheated on?
I've cheated in like people like that. I was literally 19 and we were dating for like 2 months and it was, the boundaries were not completely clear.
Different.
Yes.
Different.
It was, it's a very James Kennedy defense.
He is my favorite person.
But
Same.
I was cheated on by, I was dating this girl for like 2 months who was somewhat of like a, at the time, internet celebrity. And I just remember her saying, I'm going to go on the Vans Warp Tour. And I'm like, you're not a musician. She's like, I'm just going to stay on some of the buses. And she basically slept with every band on the Vans Warp Tour. And like, I'm seeing it come in like live on my social media feed. I'm like, wow, Sum 41. No, I don't know any bands. On the,
oh my God.
I'm not
By the way,
implicating Sum 41, but yeah.
oh my God. If anybody was going to cheat on me and it was with Sum 41, I'm cool with it.
Sum 41 of all the bands.
And rest in peace. They just broke up. Like, so earth-shattering for me. I don't know if you know this, Sophia, but I'm like a huge emo man. Like you could have caught me at a Sum 41 concert, moshing in the middle. Love mosh culture. You're just like beating each other up. You fall to the ground, and then everybody picks each other up. It's a metaphor for life, is mosh culture.
Mosh pits are a metaphor for life.
And just the demise of Sum 41 just brings a tear to my eye. It does.
Let's do all of ours, because Ben and I, we're married, but let's imagine you're married. And
I thought you meant you and Ben.
Basically,
I was like, cute.
We're married. But like,
we are.
Let's imagine who, God forbid, our spouses did cheat on us, that the person that they cheated on with, that we would go, I get it.
Ooh, this is a great game. I love this game.
Me too.
Ooh, okay. I need to think about this for a hot second.
Like if my wife hooked up with, and I know him, Chris Hemsworth and or Harry Styles, or both, same time. No, I would be like, I get it. It hurts.
I get it.
It hurts like hell.
Really?
I get that shit.
I was thinking like Barack Obama, if I was married to a woman. I don't know why all of a sudden I was thinking about a dude, but I would, Harry Styles, I'd be like, what the Barack Obama is like, that's the president. It makes sense.
Yes.
If Claudia cheated with Barack Obama, I'd say, what are you, nuts? What can he give you that I can't? I'm so on Josh's side. Like, he's like, yeah, sure, former president, but he's like, I don't know, like older, flabby, like
Claudia.
President.
I love the toast.
That's good.
I gotta admit,
no,
I'm a toaster.
For me, it would definitely be John Mayer. I would say I get it. I would get it, and I think she, given the opportunity, would leave me for him.
Wow.
Just saying.
Okay, so as long as they're hot, you guys get it.
I think Claudia would imagine that John Mayer's real last name was John Meyer and that he was a Jewish king.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Mayerson.
Yeah, I guess hot. We're shallow. We're boys.
Yeah. I can see that.
we're also funny, Sophia. So there's really nothing, like, they're not going to find funnier, better guys, right? Like, it's going to have to be just some lust that maybe they're not getting at home. God, Josh, we should really go to therapy. Like, I'm feeling terrible about this.
I already go.
Yeah, so do I. Right. Ben, that's weird. You don't go. Everyone's going.
So what about for you? For your
So because I'm a straight woman,
yes,
then my guy that I'm dating would have cheated. Let's say husband would have cheated with a girl. So I don't know why I thought Barack Obama. That was really crazy.
That's okay.
Hillary Clinton. No, I'm just kidding.
I love a pantsuit.
Yeah. See, if he cheated with just a super hot actress or something, that I would be like, you're so basic. Like, that's so, give me something to work with. It would have to be like, I was going to say Elizabeth Holmes. Can you like, it would have to be someone who did something so just incredible, even though what she did was horrifying, horrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'd be like, I get that. I'm going to brag about the fact that you cheated with Elizabeth Holmes.
Yeah, the Theranos girl. That's awesome. I dig that.
That would be pretty cool. What about like a Golda Meir? Do you know who Golda Meir is? She's the first female prime minister of Israel. What about?
She smoked.
Yeah,
But
she would be
that's-
cool. What about an Oprah? Oprah Winfrey?
Oprah, yes, I would. Yes, I would forgive that. It's Oprah Winfrey.
It's a great point.
If it was, Emily Ratajkowski, like a Margot Robbie, like, I'd be like, Margot, they are very, very beautiful, so I would kind of understand. But it's like, give me something cool to work with. Like, it's so,
Yeah, no, that's fair. I'm trying to think of, let me think of guys who've accomplished a lot. Like if my wife hooked up with David Blaine, I'd never forgive her. No, that's a tough one. I remember I was at a party with David Blaine and he was a childhood hero of mine and he just kept doing magic tricks. And I was like, David, what are you hiding? I was like, literally and figuratively, I'm like, can't we just schmooze a little? I get it. Queen of Hearts. You got it again, Dave. Can I get to know you a little?
Is this a real story or made up?
It's real.
And I want to get to know the real David.
I'm like, we're at the San Vicente bungalows and we're eating salmon. This is no time for card tricks. It's ridiculous.
That is actually very, very funny. But someone that's won like a Nobel Peace Prize, like that type of thing.
Wow.
Could I name one person that has? Albert Einstein. But that's the only person that I know that's won one.
You would hook up with Albert Einstein.
Oh my God, are you joking?
You gotta.
You have to.
Yes.
Would you?
Yeah. Would I am I allowing him or is it mutual? Or am I for him? Yes. The answer is yes. Can you imagine all the Jewish excellence in that room?
I just got the best visual of my whole life. Just Josh and
Equals
Albert
MC
Einstein.
square. Woo! Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Albert Einstein, my new movie Oppenheimer comes out July 17th.
Yeah, by the way, do I get tickets to the premiere?
I don't know if I get tickets to the premiere, but
Okay, so the answer is no.
But-
Like, when were you going to tell me?
but of course, I'll
No, we
you'll be
don't.
my
We don't get
first
tickets
call.
to we don't get tickets to Oppenheimer premiere. Just to Jeremy Renner's renovations.
I'm never gonna live down this renovations. This schmuck, he comes into town. I want to wine and dine my friend. We get invited to a Disney Plus event, not Disney Classic. There's a plus involved.
Okay.
Jeremy Piven, this guy, what he's been through, a hero.
He's an icon.
He's-
Icon.
Brand new show premiering, huge screening. I invite young Benjamin. He didn't have a great time. And he just won't stop giving me crap about going to see Renovations, now streaming on Disney Plus. Look at him. He's
I
cackling.
had a great time with you. That show. Oh my God. Oh my. That just
It wasn't our favorite, but it was a nice time.
It was a great time. Great time.
But the film, not so much.
It's a TV show, but yeah,
It's a TV show, excuse me.
it wasn't our. It's not for us. Maybe
It wasn't for us, but no slander against Disney Plus or Renovations. They did their best, and Disney Show is a fantastic streaming service that one day could sponsor this podcast, so we will not speak negatively about them whatsoever.
Dude, I'm drinking Element right now. I drink Element every morning and it's a joy. Literally, if Element wasn't good for me, if it wasn't giving me that science-backed electrolyte ratio of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, 60 milligrams of magnesium, if it wasn't giving me all that, I'd still drink it because it's delish and it's only 10 calories. But boy, does it dress up your water in the morning. So you're getting hydrated, you're getting the things you need. And it's not, as my Jewish people would say, it's not a shunda. You know what I mean? It's not a shunda. Should I say shunda? It's not a shunda again. Look, it's just a nice way to get the things that you need most with none of the junk, no sugar, no coloring, no gluten, no filler, no BS. An Element, it's formulated for anyone with electrolyte needs, even if they're paleo or keto or low carb. And look, I realize that you're probably like, maybe I've never tried something like this, or oh, taking in additional sodium, why is that good? Trust me, you need it. It's going to hydrate you, and you're going to feel so much better getting the things you need, knowing that things like cramping or fatigue, headaches, all the things that can happen with lack of hydration are going to be mitigated by consuming Element. I take it every morning, and I feel so good knowing that me, much like, NHL players or NFL players or Olympic athletes, all these people that we are, because I fit in with those types, big fans of Element, and we use it. So right now, Element is offering the Good Guys listeners a free sample pack with any purchase. That's 8 single-serving packets free with any Element order. This is a great way to try all 8 flavors or share Element with a salty friend. Get yours at drinkelement.com/goodguys. This deal is only available through my link, so you must go to drinklmnt.com/goodguys. Element offers no questions asked refunds. Try it totally risk-free. If you don't like it, share it with a salty friend and they will give you your money back, no questions asked. You have nothing to lose. I know what you're going through right now. You're thinking you'd love to bring your yard to life, right? But what should you plant? You don't know what to do. You're lost. But the truth is, fastgrowingtrees.com is here to cover you, literally. You know the saying, like, good fences make good neighbors? How about some lush, strategically placed trees instead? You can get instant privacy with fastgrowingtrees.com. That's fastgrowingtrees.com, baby. Look, the truth is, I was lost. I'm a new homeowner, and the idea of landscaping just freaked me out. But I love it. I love the way it looks, and I especially love when it has a double purpose of also giving us a bit of privacy from the street or from neighbors. So when I went to fastgrowingtrees.com, and they have literally an entire section devoted to something called privacy shrubs, like, there's just no learning curve. It's very simple. It's easy. It's going to come right to you. And, look, it makes for a happy home. Let's be honest. Sometimes it's hard to know which plants, what things are best, but that's not a problem. With fastgrowingtrees.com, you're going to get customized recommendations based on your specific needs. Plus, their plant experts are always available to keep your plants growing healthy through the season and beyond. You're not alone in this. And you don't have to wait in long lines or haul like heavy plants around. You just order online and your plants arrive at your door in just a few days. Join over 1.5 million happy Fast Growing Trees customers. Go to fastgrowingtrees.com/goodguys to get 15% off your entire order. Get 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com/goodguys.
Did you guys see The Little Mermaid?
I have not.
Me either.
I'm seeing it this week. I'm very excited.
Ooh.
I also just love a Disney live action. Love it. Josh, has Max seen Lion King live action or Beauty and the Beast, or is he more of a cartoon man?
Not live action. He likes live action if it's like Ryan's toy review on YouTube or Dude Perfect trick shots. He's watched like Toy Story, which is cartoon, but it's so funny because I'm dying to take him to a movie because I love going to the movies and my wife hates it.
Okay.
And I basically created a buddy who has to fucking listen to me. So I'm like, what can we watch? I'm like, so I'll show him trailers. So I recently showed him the trailer for the Super Mario movie, and there's another movie that recently came out, and I was like, do you want to go? Like, and we'll get popcorn and we'll do it up. And he's so sweet. He looks at me and goes, it looks a little scary. And I was like, you're so pure.
That is the cutest thing I've ever heard. He said it about the Super Mario movie.
Yeah, because it gets intense in moments, and he's 4.5. I think he's not quite
Which
there.
Josh told me that his kid was 19 and was talking about him, and I was very confused. And then he told me the truth before we started recording. But that's very, very cute.
If you had a male suitor and he had kids, multiple kids, is that a deal breaker?
I mean, what do you mean multiple?
Like more than one. Shut up, Ben.
I kind of was looking for like what are we talking? Like I'm from Utah. It's normal to have six kids.
Josh just looked up the definition of multiple and threw it back at you. Like you didn't know the word multiple means. Three kids.
But more than a couple. Does multiple mean 3?
2 to 3.
No. Let's say 3 kids. It's a good question.
That's a lot.
Is 3 kids a deal breaker?
He would have to have literally everything else going for him perfect. Money, looks, personality, loyal, funny. Like everything would need to be perfect. And I want kids of my own.
And you're crushing it. And your podcast is huge. You're self-made. You're doing so well.
Thank you.
What if there was a guy who checked a lot of those boxes but just wasn't an earner?
No.
It's hard, right?
Yes. Like I could not. They need to be ambitious. And you know what? I wish I could sit here and be like, if he's like really into painting and he's an artist, like I'll support him while, no, I don't think I could. He needs to make, I was going to say just as much as me. He needs to make a little bit more than me.
But you make a lot.
I do.
So you've shrunk the dating pool.
I have. But you know what? I think something happens in a relationship because I've seen it with my mom. My mom's been married 4 or 5 times or something. She hates when I say that. I say it so casually. She's like, "Can you stop?" I'm like, "What, Mom?" And she's always been the breadwinner and the earner. And I think I've just seen it not play out well.
How did a bunch of Argentinian Jews get to Utah?
That is the line of the century. That was a crazy line. It's actually very interesting. So my grandma is from Ukraine. And then she moved to Argentina, met my grandpa, who is Mormon. You've never heard of this in your life.
Cool.
My grandma converted to Mormonism for my grandpa. And then there's a huge Mormon community in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Are
you disappointed in her?
I pulled up.
So you're Mormon Jewish? You're Mormon Jewish?
And I went to private Catholic school. It's a whole
Wow.
thing.
Very cool.
That's funny because I actually had some Mormon facts ready to go.
Really?
I was ready for that seg.
Okay. But you're fucking good at what you do.
But isn't that crazy? Anyone, as soon as I listened to the pod where you talked about being from Utah, I'm like, there's got to be a connection to Mormon. What state can you say that about? New York, you don't think of just Jews. I mean, you think of no good liberals. No, I'm kidding. But you know what I'm saying? There's not another state associated with a religion.
Well, Texas, you think Christian pretty immediately, right? I get what you're saying, a sect of Christianity, Mormons for sure in Utah. And there's just something, maybe it's from Spirit Society and not being able to sell alcohol there, but the Mormons really have a strong grip on that community. It's pretty amazing.
It is.
Why can't you sell, it's all government owned alcohol?
It's all the state, and there are only a couple of stores that sell alcohol that's run by the state. It's very specific hours, but if you want to get alcohol in the vast majority of Utah, it's very difficult.
It is very difficult. I lived there and would try to get alcohol, and they make it very hard to do.
Did you ever date a Mormon boy?
No.
Got it. Have you heard of docking? Is it called docking?
It's called soaking.
Okay, soaking.
But docking is another, way you can describe it.
Will you tell the dear good guys listeners about soaking?
Okay, so there's a couple names for it. Soaking, docking, that's what you said. Marinating.
Oh my, it just gets grosser.
Parking. Basically what it is because sex is for after marriage, right? You need to save yourself in the Mormon religion. They'll kind of come up with these loopholes. Poop hole, loophole, that's another one. But
wow.
But soaking is when you insert the penis into the vagina, but you don't gyrate. You don't hump, you don't move. You literally just park it in there, and then that doesn't count as sex. That's soaking. Mm-hmm.
It almost seems worse. Right? To be that close.
I don't even know what to think. That's just
Well,
Oh my goodness.
can I tell you guys this? I forgot what it's called, but they found a way around the parking situation. The soaking situation. You can have your friend go under the bed for you and put their feet up on the mattress and push it up and down. So then you get the friction, so it's more like sex. But it doesn't count.
Oh my God. It's like religious Jews. We call it a Shabbos elevator. There are Jews, like they'll go like on vacation, and there'll be a Shabbos elevator where you'll have a non-Jew press press 14, and they'll get in the elevator and they'll ride the elevator up, even though technically you're not allowed to use electronics. Sounds very similar.
What?
But can you imagine if you're like soaking with your buddy under the bed, like kicking it to make the rocking go, and you're afraid you're going to finish too quickly, and you're like, slow down, Gavin. Slower, Rick. Oh, man. I don't want to talk to my buddy in the middle of my soak sessions. Ooh,
It's a very
the New
good
Mormon
friend.
podcast.
Soak sessions.
It takes a really good friend to do that, though. I would do that for you, Josh. I would do that. I would use my feet to help you and Paige in your time of need. I'm just letting you know.
Well, I feel like we do, maybe expert's not the right word, but as you've been so publicly seasoned in the life of, as we call it, canoodling and having a nice time. And I feel like Ben and I are somewhat of squares. And so I think, like, to your point, Ben, like having an extra person involved, classically the threesome, they call it. Is this overrated? Do people think about this too much? Can it ever be done right?
I have done them in the past. Now I think they're so stupid.
Yeah.
I think it's just something when I was younger, I was like, ooh, this will be cool, right? This will be cool for the guy I'm dating. Of course. Let me go ahead and do that. I think they're stupid now.
Why?
Because I don't find it hot, right? Like, it's not sexy to me, A. And I also think, B, I just think one person is enough, right?
Yes.
Like one person, like just me and you, I think that's plenty. And I would like to get, most of the attention.
Sure.
I don't want to share that, really.
Yeah, I guess it goes to show how much our minds, I can only speak for the male mind, but like the things that get us off in our brain, the practicality of it, like the exotic nature of like, oh my God, this one time where the stars align and it happens. But the practice of it probably is not quite there.
No. I mean, some guys are better at it than others. And mind you, I'm making it sound like I've done a million. I haven't. But it's like, you have to really know how to handle two women, and a lot of men can barely handle one. So,
So true.
Amen to that.
Thank you, Ben. Ben knows.
Amen.
What's your gripe with men's canoodling? Anything top of mind? Anything men need to work on?
I love how you call it canoodling, because I keep wanting to be like, wait, do you actually mean that?
This is a PG show. We use the
It's
word
not.
canoodling. We use the word canoodling when we talk about. Come on,
Our moms listen to the pod, but they're down to clown. They're proud.
Okay.
I mean, he talked about squirting a couple eps back. We're fine.
Okay.
Josh!
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, I did. It was a crazy time. 13 years old, saw my first squirting video. Sorry, Mom. Yeah, so we do talk about it, but canoodling is just a word that we use. But you can feel free to use sex.
Okay. Well, I
Whatever word
want
is
you guys to
important
feel
to you.
comfortable and safe in your space. So I'll call it canoodling. My number one gripe with men and them canoodling would be lack of foreplay. I think that's very, very important. And it takes longer than men think. They think it's like, 2 seconds, let's, canoodle. But it's like, foreplay should be 10, 15 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
got to get me up here first.
It's true. It really is true. For women, it's so much more mental,
Yeah. I don't you feel, Ben, I can just size up certain dudes. I'm like, you're not a good lover. And that's what's
Really?
going on in my head. Yeah, I could just tell whether it's the way they drive, their Starbucks order. I'm like, you suck.
Yep.
I can just tell,
Yep.
like, what they order at a restaurant. Like, if they're ordering like a fried chicken sandwich, like, and they're like judging the condiments on there, I'm like, brother, you
Right.
got bigger problems. Your wife hates you.
100%. They get a Monster energy drink.
Yeah.
That type of guy, right?
Yes.
You
Great
can
point.
tell. You can tell.
Yeah.
Sophia, what's more important, money or that good lover? Because as you were describing it before, I think that maybe that very, very well off, we were talking about Chads and Brads, Morgan Stanley, you know, they could be making, who knows, 10, 15 million a year. They could be at the top of their game. I guarantee they are a horrendous lover.
Why? Because they work so
Because
much?
No, because they are just such
Entitled.
typically narcissists, and they definitely don't give a shit about playing with your head. They're just looking for that quick fix, move on, not disinterested in foreplay. That would be my assessment of that type of person. It takes a very specific type of person to reach that level of
Success.
success within that type of field, and it typically embodies narcissism.
That is a great, great point, Ben, which I have spoken about this on Sophia the Nef, my podcast. Guys that are broke tend to be better in bed,
Sure.
statistically speaking. So to your point, Ben. However, money is more important to me after that whole thing. I have to be real, you know? Like, I don't want, okay, he's going to be great in bed and then we have children and then what? I need a roof over my head, even though, like, I make money. But I like to pretend I don't make money, you know?
Yeah.
What does that
It's-
even,
no, but
what does that mean?
It is smart. It means that you'll always be safe and protected. And I don't like. I think it's great.
Good dick game.
I don't see a problem with it. I think it's great.
I think it would be nice. I mean, I think, like, even though Ben and Claudia are both like super entrepreneurial and career focused, I think what's great is that it's so different that you guys can find a balance. And who knows, once you had a family, if someone might become a slightly more focused on the family and someone more focused on the career. Like, I just think it's hard to have two people going 100 miles per hour and have the family and all kind of the white picket fence.
Yes, that's a very, very good point. I think, yeah, at a certain point, someone needs to slow down, right?
Yeah, maybe.
I totally agree with that. But I think in Ben and Claudia's situation, they're both so young, you know, that I think, okay, if I was 24, I don't expect my 24-year-old boyfriend to be making, you know, well, they do make a lot of money. I'm not saying they don't, but I wouldn't expect him to be so successful.
What?
How old do you think me and Claudia are?
I feel like 23, 24 now.
As our dear friend.
You guys know each other well.
Yeah.
Ben's 30.
I was going to say, spoiler alert, I'm 30. Claudia's 28.
You know what? I have asked Claudia every single time I see her. I have asked her how old she is, and it just goes, psh, and I always, for some reason, I thought you guys were 23, 24.
No, we're basically dead.
Yeah.
we're knocking on death's door. But Claudia really is in with the young TikTokers. She has like the heart of a 19-year-old TikToker, but she's 28.
Okay. All right.
While Ben and I are just old Jewish men in training. Like,
Yes, we're 60.
We're old
and
at
very
heart.
happy about it. Very happy about it. But I do think that you mentioned before ambition, Sophia, is very important. I think that ambition and the drive to be successful, at least in my eyes, is just as important as that success. Because if you are driven, you'll eventually become successable. But
well, I would
So
say
true.
if my son told me he was starting a podcast, I'd be like, have you thought about OnlyFans? Because podcast, not a lot of money in it.
No.
Should we get to our What Are You Nuts moment of the week?
we should.
I love it. I'll start. You've been briefed.
Yes, I have.
So our What Are You Nuts moment of the week is just any gripe we have with the world and things that are the goings-ons. I recently was walking around beautiful Hendersonville, North Carolina.
Okay.
I'm well traveled.
Okay.
I'll say it.
All right.
And there was a woman, a street performer. She was playing a flute. And I love a street performer. I love my fellow artists. I tip big.
Okay.
Because again, they are me. You know, we could have switched roles easily. So I'm listening and I'm trying to enjoy the music. And I noticed that on her flute, she's playing the ABC song. A, B, C, D on her flute as a street performer. What are you, nuts? Learn better songs, babe. Like, this is a tip-based business and you're playing preschool music? Are you nuts? Yeah.
Are you sure it wasn't a recorder? Do you remember getting one of those when you were in middle school? The recorder, right?
Those are
Of
ill.
course.
It was a side piece, but it didn't look mystical and mythological like it was from Lord of the Rings. So maybe there was a recorder involvement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Did you tip her?
I didn't because I was so harassed. I felt so offended by how bad her music choices were.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Did you stick around to see if maybe she did like a different song, switched it up?
I didn't have any hope. And I'm like, babe, we're in the age of Lizzo. Like, who is constantly doing ill flute solos? Like, there's dope shit to pick from. And I didn't think ABC's was top of her game. I didn't tip.
No. I forgot ABC's was even a song.
Yeah.
Like, is it technically a song?
It's a song.
It is?
It's a great song. Yeah, it's not a great song to be played on the flute, but it's a great song when the kids are learning in school. No, it does not belong in that scenario. I would not have tipped. Josh, what are you, nuts? Couldn't agree more.
Thank you.
I'll give mine. This Saturday, I took Theo, my dog, to the park, as I often do on Saturday mornings. You know, we go peruse, look at the ducks. He goes to take his dump. That's what we do. I pick up his dump and I throw it away. On this particular morning, he's circling, and all of a sudden, I see another dog off the leash come up behind him, and he's sniffing, and he's encroaching, right? And I forgot that before 9 a.m. in Central Park is off the leash hours. And off the leash hours are really good when dogs are trained, but they're really a fucking nuisance when these dogs aren't trained. Because my Theo is trying to do his business, trying to pee, trying to take his dump, and this dog keeps coming up, and as Theo's about to lift his leg, sniff, 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 Theo puts down his leg, right? Because he's uncomfortable. Walks a little bit further, dog follows him, the owner is just watching. Sniff, 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 Theo lifts his leg, won't pee. All of a sudden, I guess he's like, what are you, nuts, to this dog? The dog goes to sniff, sniff, sniff. Theo pees on his body. The woman looks at me and says, what the fuck? Your dog just pissed on me. I'm like, what the fuck? Your dog is in my dog's way while he's trying to take a piss. So what are you, nuts? Keep your dog on a leash if your dog doesn't know how to behave in the morning. My dog deserves his own time to be able to. Imagine if you wake up in the morning, you go to use the restroom, and all of a sudden there's somebody else in there with you. Excuse me, can you give me my time? So that's my what are you, nuts?
I think that's a great one. I thought you were gonna do the what are you, nuts, to the dog that was
Both.
Underneath Theo, and I was gonna
Both.
that would have been kind of crazy.
Both, but I can't blame the dog for having like an absolutely moronic owner that she shouldn't own a dog. I'm sorry. She shouldn't own a dog.
Right. Could they have just been playing or no?
I'm sure that the dog was playing, but there's no time for games when you have to go to the bathroom. Like it just is what it is.
Yes.
Sophia, do you have one?
I do. And I came prepared and I was thinking about it. So it's going to be 2 parts. Okay. So on my flight here, which was yesterday, 6-hour flight, I was sitting in the aisle seat and there was a lady. Well, it was actually 3 seats. Guys, I know this. Let me tell you about the airplane because I know everyone's so interested. So it was me, middle seat, and then a window seat. And I was in the aisle and the lady, excuse me, I'm already picking up the story. I was in the window seat. The lady was in the aisle and the lady reached over and shut the window thing.
Oh, that's fucked up.
That's insane.
That's your real estate.
There was no one in the middle seat, but for her to reach over my body to slam the window.
No.
Whoa.
That's nuts.
And I'm not a lunatic. I would never leave the window open, for the entirety of the flight, because that's crazy when people do that.
Yes.
But we hadn't even taken off.
Good. That's crazy. What are you, nuts?
That is a true what are you, nuts?
What are you, nuts?
Wow.
I should have said that.
You're a what are you, nuts prodigy.
Mm-hmm.
That was unbelievable.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Sophia, thank you.
Thank you. This was so fun, and
What a
I'm so
joy.
excited to have you guys on.
Yes.
Oh yes, we are doing a podcast swap, so you can listen to our episode on Sophia with an F. Obviously, you can listen to Sophia on the podcast that you're already listening to. So doing promo for that doesn't really make any sense.
Of course.
That said, Sophia, before we wrap up, anything that you want to promote, anything that you got going on besides the podcast, or it's just the pod for now?
Just the pod for now. You can follow me on all my social media. It's Sophia with an F, Franklyn with a Y, as I told you guys in the beginning of this episode. But yeah, that's basically it. And the podcast is Sophia with an F.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for coming on the pod. As a reminder, rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast if you don't already. Watch it on YouTube. Josh puts it up every week. It's glorious, high def, just an unbelievable experience. And wherever you find your podcasts, give us 5 stars because anything less would be truly criminal.